What happens if you take a 35-watt CPU and pair it with an RTX 5060? How will it perform in some of the latest games? We'll go ahead and find out. So instead of building something normal, I wanted to push a small form factor build as far as I could, while keeping the wattage semi-low. So we're going to do that by using this i7 11700T, which has 8 cores, 16 total threads. The only downside is the base frequency here at 1.4 gigahertz, but it is boosted up to 4.6. Now to pair with that CPU, we've got two 8 gig sticks of DDR4 memory and a 0.5 terabyte SSD. We are using a kind of sketchy power supply here at 500 watts, but with the CPU at 35 watts, I don't think we'll have any issues. We'll go ahead here and get the CPU installed. Just match up the little notch right there, drop it on in, and we'll be good to go. Now for the two 8 gig DDR4 sticks, just go ahead and slap those in. Then we'll get the Intel stock cooler set up. This should be more than enough cooling for the CPU. Again, testing to see if 35 watt CPU can really make that big of a difference. Next, we're going to plug in this super sketchy 500 watt power supply that we paid 30 bucks for, and we're going to install it in this $30 ITX case we bought. We'll drop the I/O shield in, and then the ITX motherboard. And then we'll get everything screwed into place here. And again, to pair with this CPU, we have the beautiful RTX 5060 low profile from Gigabyte, which requires a 8-pin connector. I'm very curious to see how this GPU will perform, how hot it will get, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that in the benchmarks here in a bit. But we got this GPU all plugged in easily. Got the 8-pin power connector all set up as well. And we were able to boot up perfectly. Went straight into Windows. So let's go ahead and get into some of the game testing. To kick things off, we have Cyberpunk 2077 at 1080p ultra across the board, and ray tracing is set to medium. And as you can see, we're getting a pretty stable 60 FPS, but we finished off the test at 57. Next, we're going to be taking a look at RDR2, which we're going to have at 1080p ultra pretty much across the board. A couple medium and high mixed in there. But let's see how that performs. This game looks absolutely gorgeous on this card. As you can see, we're at about 95% usage on the GPU and 76 to 77 degrees Celsius, which isn't too bad, but it's definitely a bit hot. Here in Blackwater, we saw a little bit lower FPS just because of the densely populated area, but it didn't ever dip below 60 FPS, which as you can see here is still running super great. Here we have Mount & Blade Bannerlord 2, and this is an awesome game, definitely more CPU intensive. If you take a look up at the top left, we're seeing the CPU at 70%, while the GPU is sitting at about 50% usage. Now the graphics are set to ultra across the board, and we are doing a 300 versus 300 battle. So definitely as you get later into the game, you'll want to drop that army size. BeamNG up next. We have the settings set to high, motion blur turned off. So let's see how that performs once we get driving. We're hovering around 60 FPS. GPU utilization at about 50 and the CPU at about 25. Not anything special, but as we keep going a little bit further here, you'll see we're at 80, close to 90, which is more than playable. Next, we have Grand Theft Auto 5 Enhanced Edition with maximum ray tracing turned on. The only thing we have turned off here is motion blur. We saw at least 55 to 65 FPS. Here, I definitely would drop the settings a bit low if it was me playing, but again, more than playable. Last but not least, we have Arc Raiders, which is a super optimized game. We have cinematic across the board and motion blur turned off, of course. So let's see how that performs. And this game was playing great at above 60 FPS. This is another one of those games that I dropped the settings down just for more consistency. I just wanted to point out in this clip, if you look up at the top left, the GPU is hovering around 80 degrees Celsius, even hitting 83 degrees Celsius at one point. This was the only game that had occurred in. Now if I ended up using this machine as my daily driver, I'd probably want to do one of the backplate mods just to get those temperatures a little bit lower. As it's not terrible for the GPU, but in the long run it can cause some damage to the GPU. But I don't think that's that big of a deal for now. Just something to keep in mind if you do end up going with this GPU. In conclusion, I think this is a totally viable build. You can pick up the CPU for pretty cheap. The RAM, the RTX 5060 is a little bit pricier, but you have that lower wattage, lower temps, especially if you can get some mods on that 5060. Let me know what you guys thought about the video. Thank you for taking the time to watch. See ya.